I'm Songlin Fei. I'm a Dean Chair Professor in Remote Sensing, and I also serve as the Director for the Institute for Digital Forestry at Purdue University. Digital tree reconstruction is really trying to put in a real-world tree into the digital world in a 3D model. And so how we do this is like we take sensors like what we have over here, a simple backpack system that on this has a LiDAR sensor. The LiDAR means using laser instead of radar to create a capturing of the real environment. And then you use tools like AIs and stuff to reconstruct it as a 3D model. Once you have the 3D model, then you can measure them anywhere that you want, like diameter and height and volume. And also you can manipulate it to simulate how they responded to light, how they respond to wind, how they respond to fire, and so on. So it really creates a variety of new opportunities for you to understand the forest much better. So traditionally, when we are measuring trees like a wood like this, about 40 acres, it will take days to even measure like 10% of the forest. But with this new technology, like what we have here with the backpack system, we can capture this forest in about an hour or two, and then we can throw it to a machine and it spit out every single tree measurement within another hour or so, so we can have wall-to-wall coverage for the entire area. Digital forestry really is using advanced technology to better manage our forest. And so we're using a variety of sensors, like from on the drone, on the satellite, and then we use advanced tools like AIs to put it together. Because traditionally, when we measure trees, we sort of have to hug every single individual tree one at a time. But with this digital technology, we can do it much faster and do it at very large scale. And so you may ask why we need to do this faster and do it in a large scale. Is because all these new technology is allowing us to get the data that help you to better make decision makings, so that you can better monitor the forest health, better prescribe the practices to manage the forest, and overall enhance the economic viability and ecosystem sustainability. Well, AI is really the magic that make measuring trees faster at scale possible. We have these different sensors from the drones, from the satellite. We create tons of data. But how to get the data to tell us the information that we needed, and then to get the information to the knowledge space, that's where AI is coming in. And so with AI, it can help us to do, say, instead of measure one tree, we can say, or create all these diameter, or create all these volumes for us, and we can do that. Traditionally, it takes hours and days of doing. Now with AI, we can do it in a matter of hours. And we can do predictions about forest health. We can do understandings of how to respond to wildfire. And so AI give us the tool and ability to understand forest in a much faster and comprehensive way. Well, forests provide us lots of essential services, like the oxygen that we breathe, the beauty that we see, the timber that we use. And traditionally, forest management is based on data that is collected in a manual fashion, and so we often lack of data to make the decision making. With digital forestry, what it enables us is to get lots of real-time data, useful data, so that we can make decisions that based on data, so that we can make decisions that is correct, that is for the conditions that we have. And that allows us to do things faster, to allow us to make economic decisions more viable, and to make decisions about ensure the long-term sustainability of the, the nature that we love.